Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We're thrilled to have you here as we take a moment to celebrate an incredible year at Xray and give you an exclusive preview of what's coming next. I'm Francisco Viana, Product Marketing Manager at Xray, and I'm joined by Bernardo Coutinho, our Product Manager. Together, we'll guide you through an exciting journey, from the top features and improvements we rolled out in 2024 to a sneak peek at the innovations we had in store for you in 2025. Here's what's on the agenda for today. First, we'll share a brief refresher on who we are and what guided us through the year. Then, Bernardo will showcase the features we introduced this year and share a live demo showing how these features can help you. After the demo, you'll get a first look into what we have planned for 2025. Finally, stick around for 15 minutes of open questions. If you're here, you already know that Xray is the leading test management solution native to Jira, empowering teams to plan, test, track, and release exceptional software. This year, we achieved several milestones. We overcame the barrier of 10,000 customers, with more than 10 million active users that managed to create over 100 million test cases. We became an Atlassian Cloud Fortified app, proving on our commitment to your security, and we received several awards for our incredible support team. But don't take our word for it. From the medical industry to the automotive and financial sectors, Xray is a partner for success, and it's put to the test every day by some of the biggest companies in the world. For this year, we focused on four main pillars to take Xray to the next level. Improving the onboarding experience was the first of them, and so we created a demonstration project to ease the trialing and onboarding of new users. However, new users are not just the ones that have never used Xray. Some events like the sunsetting of Jira Server have forced some users to move their Jira to a cloud instance, which provides a completely new experience. We aimed at supporting everyone making this transition as seamless as possible. The second pillar is administration. As every organization has its unique challenges, it's crucial to have a product that adapts to each user's specific needs and processes. This year, we introduced several key and highly requested features that enable users to customize their experience according to their individual challenges, such as the feature toggle. Additionally, we launched tools to help you manage your instance data and capacity. We will explore these topics in more detail shortly. Third is usability. We simplified and improved the existing features and processes in Xray, reducing unnecessary steps to make the daily use easier for everyone. Improving on the ability to report accurate and relevant data was another aspect of this central usability pillar, introducing additional visualization options to the dashboard's gadgets. Last but definitely not least, performance. This was one of the most challenging pillars of our roadmap for the year, not only due to its complexity, but also due to the impact it can have on our users. We began by identifying opportunities to optimize resources within the product to enhance overall efficiency. How? We developed a comprehensive framework to accurately assess the current situation and pinpoint exactly where we could improve. Then, after identifying key areas of improvement, we prioritized what had the highest improvement potential and minimal impact on the user experience. All of these pillars were designed with a single and unique directional goal that has been guiding Xray throughout the year, improving the experience of Xray users. So, without further ado, let's dive in and see the key features delivered this year and how you can make the most out of them. Bernardo, over to you.
Thank you, Francisco, for the intro. Hello, everyone. I'm Bernardo Coutinho, Product Manager for Xray. I'm excited to be here today to showcase some of our key feature highlights from 2024 and give you a glimpse into what's coming for 2025. Let's start with one of the features we introduced this year, demonstration projects. So, testing tools are most effective when they are easy to learn and experiment with. That's why we introduce demonstration projects. This feature accelerates your Xray journey by offering a ready-to-use project environment so you can explore and experiment without any initial setup. In these projects, you will find both Jira issues like epic stories, as well as Xray specific issues like tests, test plans, and test executions, all pre-configured. It's ideal for two main scenarios. The first one is experimentation, so you will be able to try out realistic testing workflows and explore new features without affecting any live data. Secondly, effortless onboarding. So new team members can get hands-on experience in a safe and controlled environment. Additionally, if you're using Xray Enterprise, the demonstration project also includes exclusive features like test case versioning and dynamic test plans, giving you a view of our advanced capabilities. With demonstration projects, we made it easier than ever for teams to explore Xray, onboard new users, and experiment without risks. Now, while this makes Xray more accessible, we also understand that different organizations have unique needs, and that's why we introduce another powerful feature called the feature toggle. Every organization has its own unique processes and priorities. Some features may be essential for one team, but unnecessary for another. With Feature Toggle, we empower administrators to tailor Xray to fit their organization's specific needs by enabling or disabling certain features across the entire instance. You have a glimpse here of the features that you can use. This level of control ensures that your Jira instance stays aligned with your workflows, helping team focus on what truly matters to them. For example, if your organization isn't using Test Case Designer, you can simply disable it. On the other hand, if dynamic test plans are critical for your processes, you can ensure they are enabled for everyone. With Feature Toggle, Xray adapts to your organization, not the other way around. It's a simple yet powerful way to customize Xray for your teams and workflows. Speaking about adaptation and customizability, we also improved our migration to cloud process to allow some adaptation to your needs. One great example is the preload of Jira attachments. So with this feature, it allows you to reduce the dataset size of your migration, and it will move years of testing evidences in advance. Additionally, we also improved our reindexation process to make sure that your data is in sync and reliable. We improved the pre-flight checks so that you can catch issues earlier. We now allow you to export all your project dependencies. You can additionally now cancel a migration mid-process for added flexibility, and you now have clearer error messages in reports to streamline troubleshooting. Migration from data center to cloud can be a complex process for sure, and we worked hard to make it smoother and more reliable. With this, your teams can now focus on what's ahead instead of what went wrong. And once you're in cloud, another critical consideration is where your data is stored, especially for organizations with strict compliance or performance requirements, and that's where data residency comes in. Data residency allows you to specify the geographic location where your data is stored. Currently, we have it available in the United States, Europe, and Australia. You can choose the region that best suits your organization needs. It will help you meet regulations like GDPR in Europe, CCPA in the United States, or other local data protection laws. It will improve performance by storing data closer to you and your team members. This will reduce latency and ensure a better experience using Xray, and it will keep your data within a specific geographic boundary, minimizing the risk of unauthorized access and potential data breaches. Data residency not only gives you control over where your data is stored, but like with the previous feature, migration to cloud, this capability was done in, inside the Jira migration flow. So this means that we work closely with Atlassian to ensure that Xray data moves seamlessly alongside Jira data, providing a smooth and unified migration experience. As teams grow, testing scales, managing storage efficiently becomes an essential step to keep projects running smoothly. That's why we introduced a new feature page for Xray Cloud called Storage. Storage management will allow administrators to efficiently manage storage resources. You will manage project attachments across different projects to tailor your needs. You can execute bulk actions, so you can delete the unneeded attachments, reducing your storage, and you'll have improved filtering capabilities to navigate by different formats to allow you to understand what types of attachments you're dealing with. And it will help you maintain optimal performance, so making sure that you are within the boundaries of your attachment limits to make sure that you have access to relevant test data without moving ahead and be blocked. Again, important to mention that Xray data is stored separately in a dedicated database, and this does not count towards the attachment storage limit you have in Jira. Additionally, we also introduced a new gadget for Xray data center server users or previous users. This is not a novelty. It's the test evolution gadget. So with this gadget, you will be able to track the progress of specific test status for a given time period. So you'll be able to see trends and evolutions moving from one status to the other, which will allow you to be more proactive and understand that you might have some misfires in your coverage that are leading to an improved pass rate, for instance, or an exceptionally high failure rate. So it gives you a bird's eye view of the evolution of the test status up to the previous 6 months. Really interesting gadget that we know you'll be using a lot. Defects improvement. So creating a defect sometimes can be troublesome if you're doing it multiple times during your day. We streamlined defects bug tracking with some powerful enhancements to the creation process. So now your defects will inherit specific fields like labels and components automatically from the parent entities like test execution, test, or both. And when you are adding an evidence attachment, like you're executing a test run, all the evidence captured within it will be attached to the test step and it will be automatically linked to the new created defect. So you'll have full traceability of origin of the defect with all of the relevant fields within it. Speaking about managing storage and keeping your projects groomed and cleaned, we also included automated test execution archiving for Xray data centers. This will allow you to set a recurrence period to archive all your test runs and therefore test executions that are no longer relevant to your projects. Administrators will now have a dedicated page for this. You'll be able to select for which projects you want test execution archiving to be active. You can also select the recurrency of the cleanup to be run and how long can a test run exist before it is archived. Please keep in mind that we'll only archive test runs and therefore test executions as well if they are not counting to any requirement coverage status. This means that if a test run is making a specific requirement marked as passed or as not okay, it will never be archived. Okay, to make sure that we are not in any way impacting your testing workflows. And last but not least, performance enhancements for Xray Cloud. So performance is a key area of focus for Xray. We had a significant investment in improving Xray Cloud performance to ensure that you and your team members can work faster and more efficiently. First of all, we worked into creating a performance framework, an internal one that will help us and already has helped us identify critical areas of impact and allow us to have actionable feedback. That being said, after implementing this internal framework, we immediately focus on improving the load speed for test repository, test plans, and the BDD steps library. Additionally, we also worked on the load speed of the testing board as a whole. So our internal framework showcased us that this was a part of our app that needed work to improve performance, and we'll continue to do this over the upcoming year. Performance is a major focus for us, and you can expect to see further improvements as we build on this foundation. Now we will move into the live demo. I will cover some of the previously showcased features, and after the demo, we'll have 15 minutes Q&A like Francisco said. First of all, demonstration project as shared is a control playground for you and your team members to fully explore Xray within a Jira project without jeopardizing real life data. To create one is super simple. You should navigate to your apps page, find Xray, get into the get started page, and you will see the create demonstration project button. This will ask you to confirm if you want to create a project with sample data for demonstration purposes, which we can and we want in this scenario. So let's confirm. And it will generate this progress bar that usually takes 2 to 3 minutes to populate a new project for you. I already have one created for the sake of this demo. So let's use this one instead. First thing that you should notice, all of our Xray demonstration projects will have this name, Sample Project Online Store. Okay, and the first thing you will see is this sprint board with already pre-populated user stories and Xray tests linked into it. You can see that it has labels, it has components, parents like the epics, fixed versions. So we try to mimic a generic real life scenario that any Jira Xray user would find while using our app. Let's go into the list, okay, and let's see the amount of issues that we already have. So as you can see, it's quite a lot. You'll find multiple versions of tests with different scopes, test plans, defects, preconditions, test execution. So all of this. One good example is this manual test for default payment options. And why? Because this is already an Xray issue. Okay, it's a test. You'll see that it has a description with test objectives, test step, expected result, and this green callouts. In this scenario, we are calling out test parameterization, which allows you to define specific data within your data set and use it as parameters. In this scenario, it was the browsers and the payment options, but we have many more. So getting back to the list and see another example. So we have here a modular manual test for account management. Okay, in this one you will see a green callout, but this time around is for test case versioning, which is an Xray Enterprise feature. If you're using Xray Enterprise, you should see the version here at the top right. So you still have the test populated. This one is even calling out steps from a different test. But if you open this dropdown, you will see that we have three versions of the same test. Version 2, for instance, is Cucumber. We have one scenario here for a specific coverage, which is the account creation part, but this is just an example to showcase that you can switch and hop between multiple versions. Last but not least, you should also navigate to the testing board on a demonstration project, and within this testing board you should be able to see first test plans with already some coverage. Again, for enterprise, you have an example of a dynamic test plan here as well that you can check. There are some of them already have coverage and are already marked as pass, and others are still marked as to do. Now, if you then go into test executions, you'll find the same experience. So we do have already test executions that are running. Still, some of them are already marked as pass. We can select one of them. Let's go for this store page navigation and usability. We have your data-driven one, which is the same one we were checking before, or at least based on the test we were checking before. And you see here all the iterations for the browser types. This is the test parameterization doing its thing. And again, this is truly the best way for you to understand and start doing your first steps into Xray. Now, another thing that we showcased previously is the test evolution gadget. So the gadgets themselves, they are added to the dashboards page. We can use a default dashboard and we should be able to see one. So here we go, test evolution for the Xray sample project. Of course, this one being based on a sample project doesn't have a huge amount of data like the example you saw on the presentation. Nevertheless, it still already showcased that we are seeing an evolution from yesterday to today. How to add or how to configure this gadget? It's simple. Just press the edit page. You can then go into the configure part, and this is basically the first steps you need to do. First of all is define if you want the gadget to be constructed based on a project or a filter. Let's keep it in the project. Then you have your time frame. Do you want this to pull historical data since the last 6 months, or you are more focused on a week by week vision of the way your test status have evolved? It's up to you. You can also define a fixed range. So if you want to check it, let's imagine within a specific sprint, and you know the sprint start and sprint end, or a specific like half month period, by any means do whatever suits you best. So you have these two controls. And then if you're already experienced with Xray, you'll recognize the analysis and scope. This is mainly the way we use to define our reports. So you have 3 layers here. The first one is how do you want the scope to be calculated, and basically should it be the latest, so the latest step, the latest status for this test, regardless of versioning or the specific test plan. And then you can also filter this by environment, or you want to filter this by a specific version within a project or by a specific test plan. So it's totally up to you. You can also say that you only want 10 results or 50 results or 3 results. Again, up to you, and you can either auto-generate the gadget name or give a new name yourself. There we go. We have the gadget here. We can also see this as a table. So simple gadget, really powerful. Again, this is based on sample data, so it has a smaller scope being showcased. But if you imagine this in your instance, you should see a lot of hikes or drops in the status moving in between them. And this also supports custom test status. So it's really customizable, up to you, super powerful gadget for you to use. Um, Now, something that we also showcased was the defect creation. Let me jump in here again into a sample project. And for the defect creation enhancements, the first thing you need to do is navigate to the project settings, get into your Xray settings, and define what do you want to inherit. So do you want your defects to inherit the labels for the test and the test execution and the components for the test and the test execution, or only for one of them? It's up to you. Let's keep it as both for now. And then I already have here a test run in motion. Let's actually start this one. And let's say that on this specific step, navigate to the store page in a specific browser, we actually found an error. So first of all, let's mark this one as failed. Let's add an evidence here because evidences are the most important parts of this. You need to have proof that you actually that this step actually failed, and let's add it. So evidence added here. You can also see we already have 2 of them here, and let's create a defect. It will warn you that the added attachment will be added immediately to the defect as we showcase on the presentation. Let's say yes for now, and then you will see that this defect, let's call it defect 1, it can be edge, it already pulled the components from the parent field. It also inherits the action, data, expected result, comment, and actual result. Let's say that the action result is did not open, and it also pulled the label that this one had and the version. So again, this is all the enhanced defect creation that we spoken about earlier, and it clearly showcases it in motion. Let's create a defect. Defect is created, and now if you navigate into it, you will see the 2 attachments, you will see the actual result, and you will see that this defect was created based on this specific test, and it was found on this test execution with the test run inside it. So let's quickly cover also the storage management page. As mentioned during the presentation, storage management is an admin-only feature, so you need to navigate into the apps management part. Within this, you will find Xray features and settings, and you will see the storage page. Within this page, you will see a list of the existing attachments within your instance and how much are they occupying versus the free space that you still have. So some important considerations in here. So first of all, this is an Xray standard instance that I'm using. So that's why you're seeing that this account has a limit of 100 gigabytes. We do have a 100 gigabytes limit for Xray standard licenses. For Xray Enterprise, storage is unlimited. Please make sure to read our data storage policy. We do have a documentation page just for storage management and for tricks and best practices to manage storage within your Xray instance. More than this, we have a refresh storage usage button that you can use once per day to make sure that the data you're seeing below is updated to the latest, and a count that shows you how much storage are you using from the threshold that we have. So I still have 99.99 gigabytes left, which is still fine. Again, this is a demo instance, so it isn't populated with big attachments that would spike these values. So what types of actions can we do to keep our storage within the boundaries? First of all, you can delete attachments directly from this page. So if this was a testing instance and the data wasn't needed anymore, I could select all of them and do a bulk delete. I won't advise on you doing this, of course, but you can use bulk actions to simplify the deletion. Now you can go project by project, okay, and to do that, you simply filter by it. So if I go into online store, we have all the existing projects here. Let's filter by the second one and apply. Okay, it narrowed it down into 11 results out of the original 57. And then we can manage the sizing that we want to filter our attachments by. So larger than 100 megabytes, we shouldn't have any, okay? In between as well, but for smaller ones, we do have some, as we were seeing. Additionally, you can filter by format, so you want to go and check the amount of PDFs, docs, images, videos, or other. Feel free to do so. In this scenario, let's select PDF and the data that it was modified. So you want to check attachments that were added today or in between a specific time range or within the last X amount of days. Feel free to do so. This will help you clean out unnecessary or not relevant attachments that you might have in your instance. Now, what can we also do? Let's clear out the filters. And now that we've cleaned out the filters, we can also try to check. Let's imagine that I want to delete this PDF because it's causing constraints and it's not relevant anymore. I can see from where this file has originated from. So I can either click on it or I can go into the actions piece and either directly delete it or open the entity. By pressing open entity, this will show me where the attachment was added to, and it's easier for me to understand if I can delete it or not. And that's mainly it for storage management. We do have some improvements in line for the upcoming year for this page as well, with some additional controls. So keep an eye on our release notes for it. And now let's also discuss and showcase the feature toggle in motion. So back into our cloud instance, let's go into the manage apps part. Let's go into Xray and you will see the feature toggle. So again, admin only control that will allow you to toggle on or off specific features. So let's say, for instance, that you don't want test case versioning to exist. You find it an interesting tool, but it actually isn't needed for your operations right now, so you have this kind of control. You can do the same for dynamic test plans. Let's say that you only want the static ones. It's up to you. You can also turn on document generator if you don't want data to be extracted using our report generator, or even chat support. It's totally up to you. You have the controls. Again, this is an admin only feature. You can find it under manage applications. Go to the apps part, Xray features page, and you have the toggle here. It's providing you control to use the features you find more useful and remove the ones that will clutter your Xray experience. Last but not least, test execution archiving. So let me go into a data center instance like this one. Test execution archiving is also an admin feature, so you need to navigate into the Manage Apps part. Within Manage Apps, you'll be able to find Xray, and in here you have the test execution archiving option. Again, admin only feature, and here we have it. So with test execution archiving, you'll find a page where you have the control first to toggle it on or off, and then to select for which projects you want to start archiving test runs and therefore test executions. Okay, so this data will not be deleted. We follow the same process that Atlassian does for Jira archiving as a whole. You can still open the archived issues. You just need to know the issue key to search for him. But this won't appear on the generic searches or the linked issues. It will be hidden. We have more information about this on our documentation. Just feel free to take a look if you want to find more around it. So which test executions will be archived? All test executions that have all the test runs inside it archived will be archived. Okay, and then we will keep the test runs and test executions that are affecting a specific status, so that are defining a coverage status for a given issue. So this means that regardless of all the settings you see below, and we'll cover them, test execution archiving will never affect the status or the coverage status of your Xray projects. Okay. Now, As said, you can select the projects you want archiving to exist and to be active, and then you have the eligibility of archiving. So first of all, you will define how old the test run can be before it is archived. It can be 51 days, it can be 1 day, you can push it up to 2 years, okay? It's totally up to you. If you don't want to use this dynamic range, you have the static one or direct one here. Let's put it as 1 year here. And then you have the scheduling of the cleanup to run. Do we want this to be ran on a daily basis, on a specific days per week, like Mondays and Fridays, because it matches our testing activities? Should it be on a specific pair of days per month? Or should it be advanced and we can input our own cron expression? Totally up to us as admins to control this for our teams. This will help you clean up your project, remove unnecessary test runs and test executions. Even for the likes of you that are pushing a lot of automation results, this will be super helpful because you can be inputting as much information as you want into Xray. That with test execution archiving, we will help you making sure that you only store the important ones. And that's it. Let's get back into the presentation. Now let's start with what we are going to do on 2025. First of all, performance improvements. So performance improvements, as said before, are one of the main focus areas for the upcoming year. We already launched some smaller performance improvements this year. For 2025, we are expecting to launch many more, and we truly want Xray to be as performant as possible, and for all of you as users to feel it and to have an awesome experience with Xray. Next on the line, AI test case generation for Xray Enterprise. So Xray Enterprise users will be able to generate test cases with the help of AI based on prompting and more. So pay attention to it. We'll showcase some details soon, and it will be a super interesting tool for all of you to use. Again, enterprise only. Next, data residency Germany only cluster. So we are going to launch a new cluster for Xray Cloud based on Germany. As mentioned before, data residency is the option for you to define the geographic location of your data. The new one that we are going to launch is a Germany exclusive one. Next, restore backup process for Xray Cloud. So until now, you were capable of triggering a backup. Now we'll allow you to restore the data that you have backed up. This is important for all of you if you want to roll back to some previous point in time in data and to have more control around your backup management. Then we'll also introduce support for Atlassian custom domains for Xray Cloud. So Atlassian rolled this feature out a few months ago, and we know that this is important for our users. So you'll be able to use your own custom domain in your Jira Cloud instance with Xray fully supporting it and fully working. And last but not least, reporting enhancements. So for 25, we are focusing on having new reports for both Xray Cloud and Xray Data Center. On top of the already usual reports that you are used to find on Xray, we'll also introduce an enterprise-only feature that will be focused on Xray usage audit. So we'll be able to see important metrics around usage of Xray as a whole, as well as some anti-patterns. So non-optimal ways of using Xray will be detected there, and it will allow you to extract this data and have more control and do some cleanup and grooming and refinement in your Xray instance. There's more ahead of 2025. This is just a glimpse, okay? We hope that this is matching your expectations. As always, as you know, we have an open backlog of suggestions. Feel free to reach out to our support team and push your own suggestions into our backlog. Vote for the ones that you find more interesting, and we hope you have an amazing 2025 using Xray and pushing test management to a new plateau. And now let's go into the Q&A.